With more than 20 million victims of human trafficking around the world, we've got a lot more to do.
I want to make it clear today that my administration will focus on ending the absolutely horrific practice of human trafficking.
Children do not wake up and say, hey, I want to sell my body. They're put into situations. At 11 years old, my neighbor crumbled up $20 and placed it in my hand, and he began to have sex with me, and then he passed me to his brother, and they passed me to their father. Before you knew it, half of the community was sleeping with a hungry, scared, desperate 11-year-old child.
There are actually more people in slavery today in our world than in any other time in human history. There really are just three things you need to know about modern day slavery. First of all, that it is more vast than ever. Second, that it is just as brutal as ever. But thirdly, it is more stoppable than ever.
Rotary is one of the greatest, most powerful philanthropic organizations on the planet. 1 million plus people linked into Rotary around the world. And Rotary cares about lifting the last and least of these on planet Earth.
You bring together a global network of volunteers who dedicate their time and your talent to take on the world's most pressing humanitarian challenges. And look where the world once was in its fight against polio. But Rotarians changed everything. You sounded the alarm. You woke up the world. And in partnership, you raised more than $1 billion to make sure that everyone could get the vaccine.
I saw the possibility of an organization that spans continents and began to take on this idea that we could end slavery in this generation.
I come to you today as a proud Rotarian. I was president of my Rotary Club of Roswell in 2012. And I went to a conference in Atlanta, Georgia, and the entire conference was focused on modern day slavery and human trafficking.
In a gathering where we were telling the story of a young woman who had been rescued, restored out of human trafficking, out of sexual servitude, a volunteer, a door holder named Dave McClary, a business owner in our town, standing there, did not know, was not aware that this was happening in the world. But Dave McClary was moved, his heart was pierced, and Dave McClary had a path. His path was called Rotary.
And to be honest with you, I didn't think that happened in my community. Well, I heard so many stories of girls that had been trafficked across the globe. But I met a girl named Melissa from my hometown of Roswell that was trafficked. Turns out that she used to babysit one of our members' kids from our club when she was 12 years old. And I could not believe that. And the issue is so overwhelming, I couldn't really understand how we grapple it, how we attack this issue. Rotary has about to eradicate polio globally. So we have the example of how Rotary can take an issue on like this. And so I just thought, why not human trafficking?
And today, I believe Rotary is uniquely positioned once again to change everything. For the first time in human history, there is a generation alive that could bring an end to slavery as a force in human affairs. In thousands of years, this has never been possible before. But now, on your patch of history, it is possible.
This is an issue that affects every community in the entire world. And I realize with our 6 areas of focus how human trafficking affects so many of those areas. And with Rotary in 120 countries, 1.2 million Rotarians, and 34,000 clubs globally, I know it can be done.
We are doing away with the idea that human trafficking is something that doesn't happen anymore, or that only happens somewhere else. It is here, and it is now, and it is everyone's responsibility to recognize that. Human trafficking must end.
Now, Rotary, what's the story we're going to tell our grandkids one day? We can tell them the story about eradicating polio. Now imagine 20, 30 years from now if we can tell them about eradicating the issue of modern day slavery and human trafficking. Rotary, this is our time. With the power of one in every community, Rotary clubs can truly eradicate modern day slavery.